Hey folks, Ken here. Just a quick update on the pond and the filter house. Fish are all doing fine. Added a few new ones if we can see them here. There's one there, a Daiitsu Kuhaku, and at the back you can see the small one. They're just three small ones. There's a second Daiitsu Kuhaku there, like both of them, so about both of them. And there's a new Tsuri around somewhere. If he appears, there he is there. You can just see him disappear. I was never mad on Utsuris for some reason, but seeing them recently in the growing shows and that sort of stuff on YouTube, and I've taken a shine to them. So I've now got 18 koi, believe it or not, in having the pond sort of established 18 months. So I'm saying to my wife that it's kind of one in, one out from now on. So I have to give them growing room. I'd say if I was moving one on, it would probably be that Akumatsuba. I don't think it's a great specimen, and it has the bit, still has the bit. You can see on its mouth there, the car pox normally, and the shag did have it as well, but as soon as the pond warmed up, and you can see a tiny bit still on its tail, it lost most of it very quickly, whereas the Akumatsuba didn't, which suggests maybe his immune system is not what it should be, but everything else growing on well. I mean, that probably the fastest grower of all is that Daiitsu, whatever he is. I'm not sure, but he has grown hugely. I mean, he was kind of the size of that fella there, the Goshiki, or the Sankey that I have there, and he's really, that's a year's growth. The same, got a good lot of growth on that shag as well. They went in at the same time. I mean, that was my biggest fish by far, the Jin Matsuba, my first koi. But as you can see, the others aren't far from them. The two Kuhakus have come on as well. Their coloration is probably a little bit on the faded side, but they are growing and coming on well. And Yamabuki's coloured up well, really well, and is growing too. Lovely looking fish. I think maybe my nitrate problems didn't help him, but since I've sorted it, and I'll talk about that in a second, everything is good. So fish are good, and then my goldfish with the tumour still going strong. Tumour hasn't got any bigger. Pond is a little bit cloudy because I did a bit of a brush around. That's the general YouTube thing, isn't it? You show your pond, you say, oh, it's a bit cloudy because I did X, Y, or Z, but I did honestly do a bit of a brush around on the algae at the top. And it is a bit cloudy, but it's a lot better than it was yesterday. Top is still doing very well, as you can see. No blanket weed whatsoever. Need to trim off a few of those more dead lilies. Still no sign of a flower. Gave that a little bit of a back out. There's just a bit of what do you call it, algae on the bottom of it. You can see those little flies there, little feckers. There's really no way to stop them. I did a few years ago when I had my smaller pond, and in the back section, much smaller than this, I had a couple of lilies in it, and I asked the local pond guy where I got the lilies, is there anything I could do, and he said put a fish in. So I did. I haven't bothered this time, but I stuck a couple of goldfish in the back, and they did, in fairness. They kept it clear of insects and being eaten, and my 3 baskets of can't even remember what's in it, but cheap and cheerful. But hopefully they may be doing something, and when I get my rotary filter with the crystal bio, I might use a bit of that to seed it, or attempt to seed it. So that's the pond part done. Cleaned the window yesterday as well, inside and out, and it's looking good. Really happy with the fish. They're doing really well, and even though I've had nitrite problems, as I said all along, the fish have been fine. I bought a new one of these today. The scrubber is a bit knackered. This is what I use for cleaning my window. It's a tile scrubber, OXO tile scrubber, one of these good grips things, but that wore, and I went down to the shop where I bought it. The orange stuff, by the way, is rust. I think I wasn't draining the handle properly, when I used it, and it rusted a bit, and I even have orange spots, as you can see there inside where I hang it up. So I do let it drain completely. But I just wanted to buy the head. You can, I believe, get the heads on their own. They are detachable, but had to buy the whole thing again. But anyway, other thing I did is I built a stand for my crystal bioshower, which I'll be getting in the next, it should probably be another 6 weeks or so. I have somebody going over to the UK who will pick it up for me. So that is just above the water line. So it will sit up there, and there's plenty of height in it. It's only about 1100 mil high. So as I mentioned before, out here, which is the clean side of the drum before the bio, will come out here into a pump sitting in there. We'll pump up into the top of the chamber, and the shower, it will trickle down and back out. Now, I mentioned in my last video around teeing into this return to the ponds, and I put a bit on the post on the extreme koi forum, which is always good for feedback. And a few people came back to me, and the general consensus of opinion is nobody had actually done it, but said at best it will be okay, at worst it won't work at all. So what I think I'm going to do is bring a feed around here and go into the drum, and what I can do is, I think I have enough room, I just turn off the UV, and sorry, you can see my video has gone a bit darker as well. So come in around here, we can just put in a 50 mil tank connector there, and have it trickle back into the bio side of the shower. So you know, I think with the water being pumped along there, if I got it into before the pump, it would probably be sucked along and through, but the fact that it's after the pump, I think it's too risky. It's a bit more complicated, but I do have enough room around there. I'll have to come around that pipe there, that is my air feed to the spin drifter, come along here, just tack the pipe to the wall, and then put a 90 here, and I'll probably just use a couple of rubber connectors rather than some hard pipe that are plumbed into the shower. I know Steve Wainwright, when he put in, or he made his up filter Yoki, he has it returning into the bio side of his filter, and as a reminder, his filter is just a smaller version of mine. He drilled into, just cut a hole and piped in. I'd rather not cut a hole into the lid, so I think it's probably easier that I just pipe it around from on the wall right around and in, and just bring it in the side, because I'm fairly sure now it's not up at its full height there, but I do have enough room. You can see the round piece where the pipes, where the wires come through. The water never goes up even that far, so I do have a reasonable amount of space, I think. That one there, that so if I put a one beside that, I think there is enough room to do it. So a bit more complicated, but I'd be much happier that it I won't have any issues with it. Whereas with this, I think there's always the risk that it could back up into the shower, which I don't want, obviously. That's that. So as you see, I tidied up here a fair bit. I moved a lot of crap, like various bits and pieces left over from the pond build that I want to hold on to because they're not cheap and I may use them, but I don't need them here. I have the garage over above, so I tidied over there and moved everything over. As you can see, I think I've said before, I've moved my big blue here from there just to give me room for the plumbing and the pump for the shower, and I also swung around my water feed for my trickle in that was coming around this way, it's now going away, and the pipe, the hose runs in around the back of the filter, so in here, so that's handy. Anything else? That's about the quick update. As I say, this is solid. Probably took a bit more effort. I probably will get adjustable legs. I've seen on Amazon you can get these adjustable legs, heavy duty ones, so I'll probably get 4 of them. Will give me maybe another little bit of height, or I can adjust it up and down as I need to, but we'll make sure it's absolutely steady, although it actually is not too bad there, to be honest. I have the cushions on the furniture there, but that's about it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. There isn't really, just a bit of tidying up, shortens the bench, new leg. That piece of wood is twisted, I will replace it, it's only temporary. We'll probably put a piece across to the wall to give it more strength, but I'll wait till I have my plumbing in for the shower. And I may use that piece going across to support the pipe going up to the shower, but I just want to have that completely open and have no restrictions. But you know, there's nothing heavy on there. It is very solid, that shelf, and it doesn't need a leg at the back because there is a piece of wood along the wall at the back. And I also hung up my nets, so I brought these things in little a good while ago, a box of 4 of them for $2.99 or something. They're perfect. So I've got my pan net up there on the wall, I've got my sock which I've never used yet, and a couple of other nets and other bits and pieces out there that I used yesterday. They're just drying off. And that's it on my nitrite. It's down to 0.11 parts per million, so that's really good. Without even a water change during the week, it went down considerably, so I'm really happy with that. But I do still obviously want to have more filtration, so it's down, I'd say down below 0.1. And I say the Hannah kit is very accurate, and once you fish you'll always get nitrite. When I think below 0.1 is just perfect. So I'm nearly there, and I'm very happy with that. So that's it. As I said, quick update. I'll update you on the shower in a couple of weeks on progress. But a fair bit of work done over the last couple of weeks, more just prep work. But as I say, things going well, fish happy, nitrite down, shed tidy. I might have a talk about plans for reducing electricity over the winter. I think it's on everybody's minds. You know, Ireland's no different to the UK, just the prices have gone up exponentially. And you know, I'd say the ponds, you know, running with 2 pumps, and it will be 3 pumps, although probably when it's 3 pumps I'd still be pulling through the same amount of water, so the same amount of wattage just spread across 3 rather than 2 pumps. But have a few plans maybe for slowing down flow, turning off the UV, maybe turning off the spin drift or stuff like that over the winter at least, to bring the cost down, because you know this stuff, it will have an impact because it's running 24 hours a day. I'll talk about that maybe next time, just give it a bit of thought and do a few calculations maybe as to what it will save over the space. Our bills are every 2 months. I'll talk through the bills and what I feel, because I have wattages for everything, and what it's potentially costing. I haven't looked at the costs in a while, but I will. You know, God, you wonder whether you want to look at the cost, to be honest, but anyway, I will. Okay, cheers, all the best, take it easy. Any comments or questions, please don't hesitate. Thanks.